everyone, it's day 51 of the 𝐸𝐴ₛₐ₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀ for our soft launch, or I should say our local launch for our platform. So the 𝐸𝐴ₛₐ₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀ for job seekers. So it's really cool matching bosses and cultures, company cultures with people, job candidates, talent that are looking more for an awesome place where they want to work, not just about a paycheck and stuff. And that's where everything's going these days. So that being said, a lot of cool stuff as we keep building out that platform. And I got a lot of stuff going on the other end as well, locally in our state of Connecticut. That's where we're going to be doing the soft launch. I say a soft launch, but actually the launch for the 𝐸𝐴ₛₐ₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀ unlike a lot of other platforms where you're just looking for one user base, we're looking for two. And we have to start with the coolest bosses in Connecticut. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to find them. So if you are one or you know of a company where the leadership is just awesome, people love working there, we want them part of this platform because they deserve to have the best talent. And the best talent out there, the hardest workers, the people that take pride in their work and want to come to work and do their best, they're going to be looking for jobs like that. So that being said, we're looking forward to that. We're planning on a lot of cool events for that. And then from there, we spread it far and wide. So our goal, obviously, is just to create a whole new type of standard when it comes to job employee cultures. It doesn't matter if you're in a landscaping crew, if you're in a warehouse, or if you're in a corporate setting. It's all, humans are humans, man, and everybody likes to be treated with respect and know that they contribute. And it takes the right leadership to do that. Now, that being said, I teach leadership to small business owners and leaders and entrepreneurs because a lot of them get it. They understand it. You're only as good as your team, the people working for you. So one of the things that I teach and consult a lot with job owners, business owners, is, it's faster in a day. And, there's a lot of pressures a lot of time. And it's easy to just go on autopilot and not necessarily interact with your people as well as you would like to. And what do I mean by that? The way you treat them is going to be how they treat the company. And what I mean by that is the way you treat them is the way they're going to interact with your clients. So if you treat your people bad, yeah, they'll do their best. If they're a good worker, they'll do their best for the client as long as possible, but they're just the morale will be low, the enthusiasm, the trust, and just their wanting to do the best for the company diminishes, and you certainly don't want that. So I'm going to give you some leadership gold here, and I'm just going to just basically tell you what I had happen to me. I had what I call a leadership moment, and I'm going to share a lot of these because we never stop becoming better and better leaders. If you think you're the best out there, or you just don't even care about leadership in general, you don't have time for that, well, you're going to find out that it's going to come around and get you. So if you're one of those people that say, I can't find anyone that wants to work, maybe it's not your leadership, but it's your culture, and it's the way your company projects that, whether it's through recruiting efforts, or it's in the community. Everybody, ask the teenagers in town. They know where, the coolest place to work is, and they're clamoring to get in there. Why? It's because of the way they're treated. So you want to be one of those companies. And it's all relative, whether you're dealing with a brand new worker that's just a teenager starting out in the workforce, or you're dealing with, somebody that is, at a much higher level with much more experience that is used to, being compensated at a much higher level. Humans are humans, and we all have needs, and a lot of it is recognition, appreciation. They want to feel that they're contributing. They definitely want respect. All of that stuff, all of the 15 most impactful leadership characteristics that we use for our Cool Boss Factor evaluation quiz. That, by the way, if you haven't taken already, 𝐸𝐴ₛₐ₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀₀ the actual platform, it's our temp page before we release and launch the actual platform, and you can go on there and do the Cool Boss Factor and see where you stand as far as your strengths and weaknesses. But anyways, let me just share with you what I'm going to call a leadership moment. What do I mean by that? If you're in a leadership role, no matter what level you are, I mean, if you've been working somewhere for 6 months and you have to train someone that's just got the job there, that puts you in a leadership role. Even if you don't have a supervisor title or a manager title or what have you, it doesn't matter. You have the opportunity to lead others. And if you've been treated correctly with good leadership, well, then you're going to keep relaying it. And that's ultimately what you want if you're an owner. You don't want to have to micromanage people and babysit them and all of that. And a lot of times, and this is where leadership moments come in, a lot of times, it's going to be the self-awareness by learning new effective leadership skills and strategies. So I had a leadership moment yesterday. So I was talking to my general manager of my company, our company, and I was talking to him about something someone ordered. And in the past, people have ordered those and used them. I found out that it wasn't really the best thing for the rest of our, we have students and it's a martial arts studio and school. We have a very successful school with lots of families. So it has to run really good. It's very personality driven, system driven. You got to treat people with respect and you have to empower them at the same time. Otherwise they're gone, right? So they don't have to be there. They choose to be there, in fact, and they invest their time and their money to be there. So in my industry, if you suck, you're going to pay the price real quick, all right? Unlike if you have something that people really need, it's hard for them to change sometimes. But anyways, so I was inquiring about something that someone had ordered that in the past, it was a equipment. And in the past, it didn't work out good. I just felt that it wasn't going to be good for the whole class in general if that one person had that type of equipment. So when I inquired about the order with my general manager, I said to him, what is this? They're ordering this. I don't think we're going to order that for them. And he goes, why not? And I said, well, in the past, it could cause unnecessary negative effects because of the type of equipment it is, and it wouldn't, it works great for that person, but maybe not for someone else. And so I'm thinking the big picture as, someone that basically been a leader the whole time, 28 years. I looked back in the past from past experiences and I said, no, I don't think we're going to order that. And he said, okay. And he goes, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now remember, that's my general manager. I'm the owner. I'm the founder, right? So it was easy to get into what we would call a bias or a limited belief from past experiences. And sometimes we don't think, it becomes automatic. Just because something was negative in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be negative in the present or the future. Not always. But we as humans learn by past experiences. It creates biases. So we don't even think, we automatically, no, that's not going to work. And so someone that's new and hasn't encountered any bad experience with that is going to be like, why? Why don't we try that? And we will automatically, a lot of times, just go right into that auto response of, nope. Nope, I don't want to do it. It's not going to work. And you think you're doing the right thing as the leader. You think your experience is going to help avoid any unnecessary negatives. And that's where I was going with that. No, I don't think we should order that. Well, why not? He says. And I said, because I think this could happen in this, and I don't know if we want to, have to deal with unnecessary negative possibilities that could come back. And he said, okay. And I said, what are your thoughts? And he said, I see people using that equipment in other places. It seems like a lot of people think it's popular. I go, really? Now I'm thinking okay, he does see a lot of that I don't see now in the day-to-day. He does see a lot of that. So I said, really? I said, I'm not sure. And once again, I was letting that past experiences guide me into automatically saying, no, I don't think we're going to do it, and more or less veto him. And then I had that leadership moment. I said, wait a second, whoa. Why would I even ask him? I said this to myself. In the midst of this conversation, I had a moment of self-awareness, like how I was speaking and how I was just automatically making the call. And so in the midst of our conversation, I said, really? And he said, okay, whatever you say, and it made me think for that split second. And I said, well, listen, I wouldn't have asked you your opinion and what you thought if it didn't matter. Because I was literally telling myself, look, I just vetoed whatever he was saying, even though I threw it out there without even thinking. And I did it very respectfully, but I knew it was based on past experiences that can very easily create a limited belief that, nope, that won't work, that, or what have you. And I said, but look, I asked you for a reason because I want your input. And he said, well, I have to disagree with you on what you said. I said, okay, why? Well, I see him, I see it used in other places. I don't think there'd be an issue with that. I said, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go with it. Now, that takes confidence for a leader to just back off of what they had automatically said and then say, you know what, let's go. And his reply was, no, whatever you said. I said, listen, I wouldn't have asked you for your input if I didn't value it. And after listening to you, let's go with it. Now, that did a couple of things. It sounds very simple to some of you, but when was the last time you had a leadership moment where you just let a past experience, a past negative that's in your file cabinet here, automatically dictate and basically shoot down some of your employees' input? Because, well, what do they know? I have more experience. But I said, no, we'll go. And it was kind of wild, the vibe I got, because all of a sudden it went from a superior and an underling type of, and once again, this is very respectful, but it went from my authority to his. All of a sudden I could see the shift in the vibe, and it was like, I couldn't help but think, wow, I think he got this vibe like, I respect his opinion, I respect his input, which I do. I almost let a past bias, meaning, this is something I think is the way and the only way, get in the way of a leadership moment. Imagine if I didn't change my mind. Imagine if I said, nope, that's what, and then afterwards say to myself, you know what, maybe I should have thought about that. Maybe I should have given him a little bit more responsibility. Because we're going to go with what he said. Now, if something negative happens, then it's going to be a learning experience for him, and he's going to learn from it. And maybe next time he'll say, well, let me think about it a little bit more. But either way, I just wanted to share that leadership moment where I had to stop in my tracks and then flip it and have the confidence, which I do. Look, when I make mistakes, and we're all human, we all make mistakes, but you have more people working for you. They have minds. It's almost like the mastermind theory way back with Napoleon Hill. One of the legendary, personal development and leadership gurus, from back in the early 1900s. Stuff doesn't get old. It still is very powerful. And, more than one mind's better than one, right? And so I empowered my people by letting them have a say and actually respecting that and taking it into account and let them go with it. Now, otherwise, what's going to happen? Next time it's time to make a decision, they're going to be like, well, we better not make a decision unless we ask him first, unless we find out what he wants to do first. Now you're creating dependency, which more or less condones micromanagement. Your people aren't going to think for themselves unless you give them a reason to. And if they feel anything that they might suggest might just get shot down by you, they're not even going to try, because they're not going to risk putting themselves in a position of rejection. What they say doesn't matter. What they think doesn't matter. That's not how you grow a team. And it's definitely not how you grow a team that's going to run your company so that you can start living more of the dream lifestyle that you probably envisioned when you first started your company. Everyone, like they say, let me own a business so that I can live my dream lifestyle. When in fact, most of the time it's the opposite. The business ends up owning you. And you end up working more and stressing more than you ever would if you were punching a time card somewhere else for somebody else. So I just want to share that leadership moment. Guys, sometimes you just got to hit the brakes and say, am I letting my past experiences create a bias and a limited belief right out of the gate, autopilot without even thinking? And am I really creating an effect with my people where they feel that what they say and think doesn't matter? Because it's a lack of trust. And if they think that you don't trust them, they're not going to trust you. And if they don't trust you, we all know how relationships end up when there's no trust. So take that, use it. Next time you're in a leadership type of situation with somebody, and you find, wow, maybe I made that call. I should think about that. Give them the opportunity to have their input where it is valued, and that builds them up and empowers them. That's a leadership moment, guys. And I'm going to share more leadership moments. It happens to all of us. And when you begin to develop that self-awareness to put the brakes on, that's the difference between the coolest bosses and the boss holes. The boss holes don't want to hear anything from anybody. They don't want anything that threatens anything. And those are just insecure bullying measures. Little bullies sometimes grow up to be big bullies, and they're in leadership roles. That's hard. That's hard for everyone else. So, guys, keep watching the videos, subscribe, check them all out. You're going to find gold nuggets here and there. And as we get close to the launch, some of that, we just launched brand new, like yesterday, just launched our brand new biz page for Coolest Boss Ever, our business Facebook page. So go on there and just follow it, hit the like. That would be cool. It's like brand new. So be the first ones to do that. That would be appreciated. Let's keep growing our movement of Coolest Bosses Ever and the cultures that we bring with it. And let's just make environments in more and more companies where the companies grow and the teams grow, the people grow. They're people, guys. They're humans with families, and we have such an opportunity to make positive impacts, just as easy as we can make negative impacts. So let's make positive impacts. A lot of cool stuff coming up. I'm going to be doing a local mastermind, which I'm really excited about, but I'm going to be really picky who I pick to be in that mastermind. This is going to take more than just my brain to launch this massive type of movement, and just bringing the job, the work environments all over the world, everyone that we can come in contact with to a much higher level. And I think that's what we all deserve. We all got to grow together. We got to get along, but we all got to grow together.